The fame and fortune of being a child star is something that should be fun, but most of the time the parents just get a little bit too greedy and the kids smarten up. Welcome to Beyond the Screen, I'm Nate, and these are the top 10 child stars who got emancipated from their parents. Number 10, Ariel Winter. Ariel has been acting since she was just a little bean, starring in movies like Speed Racer and Fred 2, Night of the Living Fred. That's right, remember that guy? But it was her role as young Alex Dunphy on the hit sitcom Modern Family that skyrocketed her to fame. But despite her having a solid relationship with her on-screen family, her real family was a completely different story. Ariel became a legally emancipated minor when she was 17, and I know what you're thinking, like why not just wait the extra year? Well, apparently the situation had gotten so difficult that it was the only thing she could do. According to Ariel, her mother was a tyrant on set, which jeopardized her future in both sitcoms and acting in general. Her attorneys argued that her mother was emotionally manipulative and very physically violent with her daughter, even depriving her of food during tapings of the show. Her mother, of course, denied the allegations and claimed that her daughter was making things up because she caught her getting busy with a younger dude. Hey, even if she did, that doesn't help your situation, lady. A judge eventually ruled that she would be granted emancipation, and she celebrated by thanking her Twitter fans. Number 9, Macaulay Culkin. Culkin was only 9 when he starred in the first Home Alone movie, and he quickly became a household name in the world of Hollywood. Despite being a rising star with several award nominations under his belt, Culkin decided to leave the acting industry at the age of 14 in 1994, shortly after appearing as the lead in Donald Petrie's comedy, Richie Rich. One of the main reasons he decided to call it quits was due to his parents Kit and Patricia Culkin. Throughout his entire childhood, they were attempting to steal as much money from their son as possible. Seeing as they were his legal guardians, they were technically in charge of his finances until he was old enough to live on his own. Instead, they would take his money and just use it for their own personal fun time. So, at the age of 14, he cut his parents off for good by emancipating himself and retiring from acting altogether. Literally 1 year after this happened, his parents got divorced and began a long and terrible legal battle for their other 7 kids. Since then, Macaulay has developed a much stronger relationship with his siblings and has returned to the acting world, first appearing in American Horror Story Season 10. Number 8, Amanda Bynes. Amanda was once a young up-and-coming star in the world of child acting, having starred in her own Nickelodeon show and eventually moving on to the big screen for a short period of time. Unfortunately, around 2013, she took to her highly charged Twitter account to make a series of alarming accusations, including claims that her father was verbal and physical towards her on numerous occasions. She later deleted the tweets and claimed that what she said was a lie and that the microchip planted in her brain made her do it. Now, that did not help her situation. Amanda has a long, strange history with her parents. At one point, they were all very close, but by the time that she was 12, she had starred in a show with her own name as the title. Apparently, all the fame and rising fortune began to divide the family unit, and she attempted to emancipate herself from them, but suddenly withdrew the petition last minute. According to Amanda, her father was the main source of the issues. He was controlling and a very strict man, and he basically just told Amanda what she could and couldn't do every second of every day. Since 2013, Amanda has gotten better in terms of her mental health, but she will likely never act again. Number 7, Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore is a sweetheart. This woman is one of the most loved child actors that still works to this day. However, her early life in Hollywood was actually filled with a ton of heartache. Her mother was the main antagonist of her life. According to Drew's memoir, Wildflower, she had lost credibility as a mother by taking her to Studio 54 instead of school. Studio 54 was a Broadway theater and a nightclub, which was a very healthy environment for a child. Between the ages of 7 and 14, she was forced to quickly grow up, having to take care of herself when her mother was out and about. But her always being gone meant that Drew had access to the cupboards where mom kept her stash of goodies, like no-no snow, no-no juice, and even some herbs and spices all rolled up and ready to go. But by 14, she was considered to be difficult and unhireable, prompting her to make a massive change in her acting life and personal one as well. Realizing her mother was the main cause of her problems, she started the process of legally emancipating herself, and according to the memoir, Drew's mom was actually very supportive of this choice, which was just another red flag for Drew. Her mom was stoked to not have a kid anymore. She was free to have fun and they could build a new relationship as part-time friends. But that did not happen the way she expected. Following the emancipation, Drew moved into a building with her close friend and began working at a local coffee shop that turned out to be a Hollywood hot night spot. She eventually got more work and rose to her current status as a Hollywood superstar. Number 6. Jaden Smith. Will's son Jaden was trying to make a name for himself very early on in his life, being a part of several projects with his father Will Smith as either a fellow actor or a producer. In 2013, the pair acted together in a terrible little sci-fi movie called After Earth. The plot was lame, the story was dry, and most people collectively agreed that it was the worst movie of both of their careers so far. Jaden was apparently fed up with the negative reception of the film and himself, so he decided to go the extreme and separate himself from his family. In his memoir, simply titled Will Smith writes about a time shortly following the After Earth's release, when Jaden approached him to have a serious sit-down about the possibility of emancipating himself. Will wrote that the worst part about the entire situation was the fact that he dragged his own son into the movie and made him the target of the relentless mocking from critics and fans online. Will remembers the moment as crushing. Ultimately, Jaden did not go through with the paperwork though, but he has distanced himself heavily from his family over the years and seems to be doing very well, now mainly being involved in the world of fashion and music. Number 5. Jamie Presley. Jamie may be known for her iconic roles in TV and film like My Name is Earl and of course Joe Dirt, but Jamie actually started out as a model before making her way into the acting world. Starting out in the business when she was just 13, her choice to emancipate herself actually came from a job opportunity 1 year later when she was 14. She had apparently been applying for more modeling gigs behind her parents' back, and eventually one of them accepted and offered her a job. That job was of course in Japan, so there was only one way for her to make the move and start her career. Without telling her parents, Jamie legally emancipated herself and moved to Japan to model. After a few years of actual modeling, that's right, it wasn't a scam, she realized that she seriously hurt her family and returned to make amends. In the end, they were able to stitch themselves back together and her career only went up from there. Number 4. Corey Feldman. Corey got his start in the acting business when he was just 3 years old, but it was a decision that he was forced into by his parents. As the years went by, Corey was able to find work in several cult classics like The Goonies and Gremlins, but his entire childhood was controlled by his parents. Corey alleged that he was worth $1 million by the time that he was 15, but thanks to his parents, he only had about $40,000 left. He was declared legally emancipated by his 16th birthday and was ready for a new life as a legal adult. Eventually, he moved into his own apartment and started climbing the ladder of success again with hits like The Lost Boys and License to Drive. He also developed a heavy no-no-snow habit and dabbled with psychedelics like Shroomy Woomies and the Little Paper Pals. This eventually blossomed into a spicy spoon juice habit that led to 3 substance-based arrests before Feldman entered into rehab in December 1990. Number 3. Alecia Silverstone. In case you forgot, Alecia portrayed the main character of the classic comedy Clueless, but I personally know her as the only good thing about Batman and Robin. Silverstone sought emancipation because she actually wanted to skirt child labor laws, according to a 1995 Rolling Stone profile. Her career began picking up steam when she was just 15 years old, back when she was offered a lead role in The Crush. At the behest of the producers of the film, Alecia and her father found a place in Oakland, California that would legally emancipate her from her parents. The logic behind the move was actually very sound. If you're emancipated, it means that you were legally 18 and you can work crazy hours. Many child stars are often limited to the time that they can spend on set. Her father was not stoked about the idea of his little girl becoming a legal adult, especially considering that both her parents were nothing but supportive to her throughout her entire life. But they ultimately put her career first and made the call. While she did have some success for a few more years, Silverstone actually stopped acting around the start of 2000s, with Scooby-Doo and Alex Rider Operation Stormbreaker being some of her last big budget projects. One is a classic, and the other one you probably haven't heard of before today. Number 2. Julliette Lewis. Julliette Lewis has made her name in the realm of acting and singing. She received an Academy Award nomination in 1991 for her role in the movie Cape Fear when she was only 18 years old. She had been dedicated to acting since she was 7 years old, starring in teen TV shows and movies for a majority of her childhood. She was so dedicated to acting that she decided to emancipate herself when she was 14, but her parents were beyond supportive. She had a wonderful relationship with her mom and dad, who were both creatives themselves when Julliette was cast in her first full-time TV show gig. She realized that despite her tenacity that she would have to follow strict regulations and hours regarding child acting. She decided that she wanted more hours and more work, so she asked her parents about the emancipation process. They immediately got so excited and walked her through step by step, helping their little girl rake in all that cash. The move paid off, as the little-known sitcom I Married Dora gave her the boost that she needed to get her big break, and eventually she quit school at 15 and received her first Oscar nomination before she was 20. And at number 1, Jena Malone. Jena has been a part of a few big budget projects over the years, but most notably as Johanna Mason in the Hunger Games series. Much like many child stars on this list, her parents became in charge of her finances at a young age due to her successful roles in movies like Contact and Ellen Foster when she was just 13. Her parents mismanaged her money hard. According to the LA Times, her mother Debbie basically lived off her daughter's checks, blowing money on business schemes and down payments for houses. She even emptied out her college savings and took money from her trust fund. As a result, Jena owed $20,000 in back taxes. There was apparently some strange tax situation that could only be solved if she were to become a legal adult. Thankfully, a judge ruled in her favor and she was able to take control of her finances. In a strange twist, the situation actually brought these two closer together, with Jena claiming that her relationship with her mother is currently better than ever. And those are the top 10 child stars who legally emancipated themselves. Did we miss any good ones? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you for stopping beyond the screen today. Just judo chop that like button if you had fun and you want to see more content. See you next time.